Entertainment Soldier here, and I'm back to talk about Star Trek Lower Decks Season 3, Episode 1, and my thoughts on this episode. Well, listen, I wasn't expecting much. This is Lower Decks, and after last season, listen, I liked the final episode. I thought it was fine, I thought it was interesting, and I thought the ending of that episode would be I thought with that ending, we would get at least an interesting story about who framed the captain, why they did it, all this kind of stuff we would have gotten from a good story about the captain being framed for destroying the Pakleds, capital. Now, did we get that in this episode? Did we get an actual interesting episode with actual storylines and actual plot and, an actual fucking decent story? No. They pissed on that pretty quick, and this episode's a fucking joke. As the series is, by the way. How this still is going on. How this show still has funding is a fucking miracle. This show is badly written. It is beyond a joke. There's nothing in this show I can point to say is good. I hate the fucking lot of the characters. The story is boring, and it's just an insult to Star Trek that this is still a thing. And I just like to remind everybody, this show is going to get another season, and we're still waiting to find out about the fucking Orville. That is how fucked this whole fucking Hollywood shit is. This piece of shit show is gonna get another season, and a fucking amazing show like the Orville, we still gotta wait. I fucking hate this. But yeah, this episode fucking boring. The fucking story was shit. The acting shit. Everything shit. I mean, I don't care if you're getting pissed off that I'm saying it's shit. It is, okay? If you are a Star Trek fan and you like this show, I gotta ask, are you a real Star Trek fan? Because, come on! This show is just here to take the piss out of Star Trek. Okay? And I would respect that if it was actually just not canon. But apparently, this show is actually canon. This show is actually in the fucking Star Trek universe. Because the pricks are saying, or at least the pricks at CBS and Kurtzman have said, they're going to have a crossover episode with Strange New Worlds. I mean, come on. Who the fuck wants to see these bastards in real life? I mean, in live action. I mean, seriously, who wanted that? But you know why they're doing that? Because they want to put Mariner on her own show. That is what they're going to do with this one. They're going to try to give her own show for no fucking reason. There has not been an outcry for her to have her own show. There's not been an outcry to see any of these pricks in live action. They're just doing it because they're so desperate to try to get decent Star Trek shows. Anyway, yeah, the episode was boring, it was stupid, it was insulting to watch. It's a 2 out of 10 for me. This show should have been cancelled after the first season. But they've just continued making them for God only knows why. Again, it doesn't have an amazing fan. It does not have a big fan base. I don't think it moved the needle in any direction because it just saw. I think most people like me just saw it as a joke. But yeah, that's the end of my non-spoiler review. It's a 2 out of 10. None of the characters are good. And the story's pretty fucking pointless. So let's go into spoilers now. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, leave in 3, 2, 1. Alright. So the episode starts off with an FNN reporter. Because apparently now they have TVs now. They have TVs now in Star Trek. Even though in Next Generations, in Voyager, they pretty much explained to us that people had evolved and stopped watching TVs and shit like that. But apparently, no. Everybody's got a TV in their office. Everybody's got a TV in their house. I know some person going to say, why does it matter? It fucking matters. Because there's episodes in fucking Next Generation where Data asks about the TV. And they pretty much tell him what it is. A fucking old style way of watching entertainment. Because they have fucking holodecks, which makes TVs pretty fucking pointless. And there's fucking episodes in Voyager where Tom Paris has a TV. The oldest fucking TV in history. I don't know why he has an old TV. And that excites him because you had B'Elanna who gave that as a present to him. And just told, again, that there's history here of why these idiots having TVs in their houses, in their offices, makes no sense. Because Star Trek has already explained this shit we've gotten past. But again, this is not written by Star Trek fans. This is written by fucking morons who couldn't make it in drama shows. So, oh yeah, and again, we now have FNN, which is supposed to be CNN. Like, we've never needed a news fucking channel in Star Trek ever, but apparently now we have one, because that's what fans wanted. We don't want to see space battles, we don't want to see interesting stories, no. We need to have a CNN in Star Trek. Fucking hell. So, Boimler's mother is standing on trial, is on trial for destroying the Pakleds' homeworld. And Mariner is in her dad's place where she's just throwing shit at TVs because she is still a 15-year-old girl, even though she's not. So she's throwing shit at the TV, her dad's trying to calm her down and tell her to trust in the system. And then Mariner says one of the dumbest fucking lines, I think, in the episode. I can't trust a conservative military panel. And I'm just like, when the fuck did... What the fuck are you on about? Because, again, we never needed politics in Star Trek. And some arseholes going to say there's been politics in Star Trek. Yes! But it's never been Earth politics, okay? We don't know the fucking... Well, at least I don't, and I think most fans don't know the politics of Earth, okay? We don't know if it's the left-wing parties controlling the planet. We don't know if it's right-wing parties controlling the planet. And we've never needed to fucking know. So why is this bitch talking about conservatism? It's just so obvious this show is just a waste of time watching, and just to take a little shot at conservatives, because again, all conservatives are just morons and aren't going to listen to facts, right? Because conservatives are the ones who can't say what a woman is. Conservatives are the ones who have to say there's 100 fucking genders out there, right? Right? Yes, conservatives are the ones who don't listen to evidence or, facts or shit like that. Yeah. That's conservatives. Not leftists. Again, can't define what a woman is, can't say how many genders there are. I mean, again, yes, conservatives are the morons. Fuck off. So, again, Mariner's just being Mariner and pretty much can't be asked to trust the system. So she goes out to find help, to try to find... Well, she needs to find her crewman mates to try to see if they can find out who framed her mother. So she goes to Boimler. And where do you think Boimler's working? Now, where would Boimler work? Who is so fucking much a fanboy of Star Trek. Oh, he's working on a fucking winery place. Just like Picard. And apparently every fucking woman in this fucking winery place wants to fuck him. I don't know why. Fuck knows why, but apparently every fucking bird literally wants to fuck him. Because that's literally all they're fucking trying to do. So Mariner goes to him, asks him for help. Eden tells Mariner, oh, I've got proof that your mother was nowhere near the fucking Pakled planet when it exploded. Because I have fucking logs of hers that I play back myself so I can then do my own logs. Which is, again, Boimler is just fucking weird to the max. I mean, again, this is what the show thinks Star Trek fans are. I mean, this level of stupidity that we're not. We really are not. And we're really not that fucking... Alright, maybe we are because I did go into that rant about TVs. But still, Boimler is just an arsehole. And a dumb arsehole at that. But yeah, so he has evidence. His logs are evidence that Boimler's mum has nothing to do with the attack on the Pakleds. So they both go off to find... Is it Tendi and Rutherford? I think that's their names. Tendi and Rutherford, who are at Cisco's. Because, again, we have to remind you of better Star Trek. Because if we don't remind you about better Star Trek, how can you like our Star Trek? I mean, that's how these arseholes think. So they're at Cisco's. Both of them, Tendi and Rutherford, are planning to visit places on Earth. And Tendi brings up Zefram Cochrane Land. Because apparently in this show, in Star Trek lore now, they have made the first the first warp drive a theme park. I don't know why. Again, it's just to take the piss out of it, right? Because again, that's all this show is. Just to take the piss out of Star Trek. Anyway, whilst they're planning on going to the Zefram Cochrane Park, Mariner walks in. Apparently she wants to make an entrance because Boimler pretty much exposes her as soon as she does the stupid little speech about getting them to help her mother. But they agree to help her. They sit down to have some food. There is this stupid scene where Boimler puts too much hot sauce on his food and he starts acting like a bitch about it, and Mariner puts about a shitload of that hot sauce on her food and doesn't bother her at all. Again, that hasn't changed, has it? Still making Boimler out to be the twat and Mariner to be this massively successful bitch, even though she's not. Anyway, so Mariner's plan is to get to a transporter so they can transport over to the Cerritos to get to Boimler's logs. So they head to the transporters. They're going to try and knock out the security guard of the transporters. They get there. Turns out he's a sweet old man. They don't want to hurt him, so they pretty much just cry in front of him and beg him to help them. He does. But unfortunately they can't use the transporter because there's apparently some bugs that are in the way and they're blocking the transporter system, so they can't transport up to the Cerritos. So they decide... Now again, I just want to say this. They walked through about 5 shuttles because they had to use a shuttle to get up to the Cerritos. But do they take the normal shuttles to get to the Cerritos? No. Mariner decides they should go all the way to Zefram Cochrane Park and steal one of the rides, and that's the way they're going to get up to the Cerritos. Don't use the free available shuttles that are literally walking distance from you. No, take the transporter and just beam all the way to another part of America. I don't know where Zefram Cochrane launched from. I know I'm a bad Trek fan for not knowing that, but I just don't know. So they beam all that way. Again, shuttles right outside the transporter bay. Right outside. Boimler, Mariner, walk outside and you'll see shuttles. You can steal one. You're going to... again, terrible writing. So they get to fucking Zephyr and Cochrane land. It turns out it's just a massive take the piss out of the first warp drive. Apparently the ride is basically just Zephyr and Cochrane's ship 100 fucking times. So they get on the ship, it launches up, it has Zephyr and Cochrane there doing what he did. I mean, again, it just seems a bit weird in the park that this guy who's known as a human hero, who pretty much took the human race to the next level, and none of the people on, the Enterprise, when they first met him, saw him as this drunk who liked rock music and all this shit. They kind of saw him as a historical figure, someone to look up to, but in this they make him look like a fucking joke. And that just doesn't make fucking sense, does it? Fuck this show, man. And these writers. So they nick a fucking ship. They get to the Cerritos. Oh, there was this joke about an extra passenger on the shuttle, well, on the theme park ride. So they just take him along for the ride. I don't know. So they get to Cerritos. They give the ride to the extra passenger, who then goes insane and then decides to take the ship in search of shit. I don't really know. So they get on Cerritos. They get to Boimler's files. They look at them. They listen to them. Just turns out Boimler was being a very weird cunt all the way through all the logs. So Mariner doesn't think the court's going to listen to these logs because they're not serious enough. So she starts to lose faith, and then pretty much the gang managed to persuade her to trust in the logs and trust in the system, and they head off to a transport. They get on the transport, but Mariner fucks up the transport, pushes them all in, and forces them to go back to Earth while she steals the Cerritos. Okay, 1. Why is there not a security team on Cerritos? 2. Why is there no security systems on Cerritos? 3. Why is the ship so easy to fucking steal? Why is there no code to the fucking controls? Why is there no code to the bridge? Why is there no code in any part of this fucking ship? How is it this easy to steal a Federation starship? Why is there not a ship on guard, patrolling the area, making sure that if somebody tries to steal the ship, they can send a security team on, or at worst, blow the bitch up if it's getting stolen? But no. Apparently Mariner can just steal a Federation starship, and yeah, that's it. So she steals the Cerritos. Boimler manages to hack into the shuttle and just change the course of it, and they land back on the Cerritos. They head to the bridge to try to speak to sense to Mariner, to tell her to trust in the system, but they end up just having a shitty fight with her, and getting their ass kicked by Mariner. 2 blokes and a woman getting their ass kicked by Mariner. There you go. And yeah, but the Federation then realise that somebody has nicked the Cerritos, send a security team to deal with them. I don't know why they're flying fighters. They have shuttles. They have I just think it's weird using those shuttles that they were using. I've completely forgot what they're called, but why aren't they using runabouts? They're Starfleet security. Why are they using fighters? Anyway, so they try to contact the Cerritos. They demand to know what they're doing on the Cerritos, and Tendi tells them that they're on a fact-finding mission. And then all these weird, those bugs that are blocking the transporter. Well, it turns out those bugs needed somewhere to have an orgy. I am not taking the piss. That is what they did. And that is what the show says. Because all these bugs start to have an orgy on the fucking Cerritos. And Tendi tells Starfleet security that is what they're there for. They're there to study these creatures having sex. And then Starfleet Security say, well, that is fantastic. We're so glad you've done this. Just need to know which officer assigned you to do this. Like, are you fucking kidding me? How can you be that fucking naive? How can you be that stupid? This bitch is obviously lying. She is in a stolen ship. And fuck these writers. You can't write for shit. So, Tendi is trying to figure out which officer to try to say gave them this mission. But don't worry about all that, because then the captain walks in and says that she assigned them to the mission. And there you go. Oh, it turns out she was found not guilty of the Pakled attack. Yes, one episode in, and that storyline, the storyline I found interesting from season 2. Oh, that just got done all off screen. Because then she tells us a story about what happened. And did they... I mean, why would you not make that a fucking episode? Them proving Marina's mother innocent. No, we're just going to do that quick because that might take too much time and actually be interesting for Star Trek fans. Are you fucking... That is the biggest missed opportunity of this show, of this series, since day one. How can you fuck this up? Anyway, yeah, so she got proven innocent, and then she pretty much gets pissed at Mariner because Mariner should have trusted the system to find her not guilty. And then Mariner has this talk with her parents, who both understand they can't really do much with her because they don't want to kick her out of Starfleet. So what they decided to do was, this is your last chance, and as we both don't want to throw you out of Starfleet, we're going to assign somebody to make the decision for us. And it turns out to be number 1, whatever the fuck that twat's name is. The arsehole who always takes his shirt off for some reason. And that just pisses off more Mariner, and that's how the episode ends. God damn, this show is a waste of fucking time. And that's the end of my review. It's a terrible episode. It's a terrible series. How this is still going on is a fucking miracle to me. If you like this show, fine. Fine. But please, really ask yourself why you like this show, if you do. Because there's nothing interesting. It's just a bunch of assholes, a bunch of idiots. That's all this show is. Just full of that crap. It just takes the piss out of Star Trek. And I thought, fine. As long as it's not canon. As long as I can just say it's just in its own little universe. But these arseholes want to make it canon now. Fine. It's a 2 out of 10. Ugh, I'm done. Entertainment World Soldier. Bye.